The story The Bundle of Sticks, or The Old Man and His Sons, is a fable about unity, where a father, concerned by his quarreling sons' discord, demonstrates that they are strong when united, but weak when divided. He asks his sons to break a bundle of sticks, which they cannot do. Then he unties the bundle and they easily break the individual sticks, teaching them that a united family or group is invincible, while a divided one is vulnerable. The story, The Problem. An old man has many sons who constantly quarrel and fight with each other, much to his distress. In a quaint village, nestled among rolling hills and babbling brooks, lived an old farmer with his sons. While he was a man of great wisdom and kindness, his heart was perpetually heavy. The source of his sorrow was not a failing harvest or a harsh winter, but the incessant and bitter strife that plagued his household. His sons, strong and capable young men, were like a pack of wolves, always at each other's throats. Their days were filled with sharp words, petty jealousies, and often physical brawls over the most trivial of matters. One would boast of his strength, another of his speed, a third of his cleverness, and each claim would spark a new round of conflict. The sound of their arguments echoed through the farmhouse, drowning out the peace of the countryside. The father watched this endless discord with a growing sense of dread. He knew that their division made them vulnerable. He had seen neighboring families torn apart by internal feuds, their lands seized and their legacies forgotten. He feared that his own sons were on the same ruinous path. His nights were sleepless, spent pondering a way to instill in them the simple, yet profound, truth that their greatest strength lay not in their individual prowess, but in their bond as brothers. The old man knew his time on earth was drawing to a close, and the thought of leaving his sons in such a state of disarray was a burden too great to bear. He needed to show them, in a way they would never forget, the folly of their ways before it was too late. The constant fighting created an atmosphere of tension and unhappiness, undermining the family's stability and future prosperity. The father, with his years of experience, understood that no enemy from the outside could do as much harm to them as they were doing to themselves through their own internal conflicts. The request, the father, fearing they will ruin themselves if they remain divided, calls his sons together and gives them a bundle of sticks tied together. One morning, as the sun cast its golden rays over the fields, the old man decided the time for words was over. It was time for a demonstration. He summoned all his sons to the courtyard, his voice carrying a gravity that momentarily silenced their usual bickering. The young men gathered before him, their expressions a mixture of curiosity and defiance, wondering what their aging father could possibly want. They saw the deep lines of worry etched on his face and the sadness in his eyes, but their pride and stubbornness had long blinded them to the pain they were causing. The father said nothing at first. He slowly walked over to a pile of firewood and carefully selected a number of straight, sturdy sticks, one for each of his sons. He then took a strong piece of cord and, with deliberate care, bound the sticks tightly together into a single thick faggot. The bundle was formidable, a solid mass of wood that looked unbreakable. He held it up for all of them to see. His gaze passed over each of his sons, from the eldest, who prided himself on his brute strength, to the youngest, known for his quick wit. "My sons," he began, his voice raspy with age, but firm with purpose, "I have a simple task for you. I want you to take this bundle and, with all your might, break it in two." He presented the bundle, an object that was both a simple collection of wood and a profound symbol of the lesson he hoped to impart. The request seemed straightforward, a test of strength, and the sons, ever competitive, eyed the bundle and then each other, each confident that he would be the one to succeed where the others failed. The failed attempt, he asks each son, in turn, to break the bundle, but none of them are able to. The eldest son, eager to prove his superior strength and leadership, stepped forward first. He grasped the bundle with his powerful hands, his muscles bulging as he strained to snap it over his knee. He grunted and groaned, his face turning red with effort, but the bundle refused to yield. It barely bent under the immense pressure. After several minutes of fruitless struggle, he stepped back, panting and defeated, a look of frustration and shame on his face. The other brothers, who had been silently mocking his efforts, now took their turns. The second son, known for his endurance, tried a different tactic, attempting to twist and wrench the bundle apart, but his efforts were equally in vain. The third son, and then the fourth, and so on, each came forward with his own brand of confidence and his own method of attack. They tried to smash it against the stone ground, to wedge it between rocks, and to use their combined body weight to bend it. But the tightly bound sticks acted as one, their collective resistance far greater than any individual force. With each failed attempt, the initial arrogance of the sons began to fade, replaced by a growing sense of bewilderment. They were the strongest young men in the village, yet this simple bundle of sticks had bested them all. The courtyard fell silent, save for the heavy breathing of the exhausted brothers. They looked from the intact bundle to their father, their expressions now questioning. They had been given a seemingly simple challenge, a test of physical power, but they had all been humbled. The solid faggot lay on the ground, a testament to their collective failure and the mysterious strength it held within its tightly wound cords. The demonstration, the father then unties the bundle and gives the sons the individual sticks. A faint knowing smile touched the old man's lips as he watched his sons stand defeated before the bundle. He had their complete, undivided attention, something he had not commanded in years. He slowly bent down, his old bones creaking, and picked up the faggot. His gnarled fingers worked patiently at the knot in the cord that bound the sticks together. With a few practiced tugs, the cord came loose, and the once mighty bundle fell apart, its individual components scattering on the dusty ground. The sticks, which had seemed so invincible just moments before, now lay separate and exposed. The father then stooped again and gathered the single sticks. He walked over to his sons, who were watching him with a mixture of confusion and dawning understanding. He handed one stick to each of them. "Now," he said, his voice soft but clear, "try again." He held their gaze, ensuring they understood this next crucial part of his lesson. The sons looked down at the single, slender sticks in their hands. They felt light and fragile compared to the heavy, unyielding bundle they had just wrestled with. The air was thick with anticipation as they awaited their father's command, the simple sticks feeling almost insignificant in their powerful grips. The contrast between the formidable bundle and the frail individual pieces was stark and deliberate. A physical representation of the abstract concept the father was so desperate for them to grasp. The demonstration had moved from a test of strength to a visual parable, and its meaning was beginning to resonate within the silent courtyard. The easy success, the sons easily snap the single sticks into pieces. The sons looked at the single sticks in their hands, and then at each other. A look of comprehension began to dawn on their faces. Following their father's unspoken instruction, the eldest son took his stick and, with a motion that required almost no effort, snapped it cleanly in two over his knee. The sharp crack echoed in the quiet courtyard. One by one, each of the other brothers followed suit. What had been an impossible task moments ago was now laughably easy. They broke the sticks with their hands against their legs with a simple flick of the wrist. The ground at their feet was soon littered with the broken pieces of the once sturdy sticks. There were no shouts of triumph, no boasts of strength. Instead, a profound silence fell over the group. The ease with which they destroyed the individual sticks stood in stark, undeniable contrast to their utter failure to break the bundle. The physical act was simple, but its implication was powerful. They stared at the splintered wood on the ground, the evidence of their individual power to destroy what was separate, and then they looked up at their father. The arrogance and defiance had completely vanished from their eyes, replaced by a look of humility and reflection. They had not just broken a few pieces of wood, they had experienced a fundamental truth in a way that no lecture or scolding ever could. The lesson was complete, demonstrated not through words, but through their own actions and their own failure and success. The lesson. The father explains that, like the bundle of sticks, their unity makes them strong and safe from enemies, but when they are divided, they become weak and easily defeated. The old father looked upon his sons, his heart swelling with a cautious hope. He saw in their eyes that his message had finally been received. He gathered them close, his voice filled with a lifetime of love and concern. "My sons," he said, gesturing to the splintered sticks on the ground, "do you now understand? When you were each trying to break the bundle, you failed. It was too strong for any one of you, or even for all of you working separately against it. The bundle was like you are when you stand together, united as brothers. In that state, no enemy can harm you, no misfortune can break you. Your combined strength makes you invincible." He then pointed to the broken pieces. "But when I untied the bundle and gave you each a single stick, you snapped it with ease." That is what will happen to you if you remain divided by your quarrels and jealousy. One by one, you will be broken. Your enemies, seeing you fight amongst yourselves, will take advantage of your weakness. They will pick you off, one at a time, until nothing is left of our family, our lands, or our name. Alone you are as fragile as a single stick. Together you are an unbreakable bundle. His words were simple, yet they carried the weight of profound truth. The sons listened, truly listened, for the first time. They looked at each other not as rivals, but as brothers, and understood the precious and powerful gift of their kinship. The father's lesson was clear. Their survival and prosperity depended not on their individual abilities, but on their collective unity. The moral of the story is that there is strength in unity. When people work together, they are much stronger and better able to face difficulties than if they are divided and working against each other. This timeless fable teaches a universal truth that applies to families, communities, and nations alike. The bundle of sticks serves as a powerful metaphor for the concept of synergy, where the whole is greater than the sum of its parts. Individually, each stick is vulnerable and easily broken, representing an individual who is isolated and exposed to threats. However, when these sticks are bound together, they create a formidable unit that can withstand immense pressure. This illustrates that cooperation, mutual support, and a shared purpose can transform a group of weak individuals into a powerful, resilient force. The story underscores the dangers of internal conflict and division. The quarreling sons, focused on their petty rivalries, were blind to the greater danger their discord created. Their disunity made them susceptible to being broken one by one. By working against each other, they were not only weakening their family, but also paving the way for their own downfall. The father's wisdom lies in his ability to demonstrate this abstract principle in a tangible way. Ultimately, the tale is a call for solidarity. It reminds us that whether facing an external enemy, a difficult project, or the general challenges of life, our chances of success are far greater when we present a united front. By setting aside personal differences and focusing on a common goal, we can achieve things that would be impossible to accomplish alone. The enduring message is that our bonds with others are not a weakness, but our greatest and most formidable source of strength.